This is from the Daily Mail. This is the before and after from the strikes by the Israeli government in the Gaza Strip. Now, this does not look like much of, strategic strikes on military targets. This seems a lot more like blowing the crap out of 6,000 people, mostly women and children. Folks, this is Fernando doing another video for Modern Survivalists, and we have to start asking ourselves some questions. Mr. President, don't let Netanyahu drag us into World War III. Now, this is a headline that is kind of hard to come by. Usually, everything is aligned in the same narrative of, we are pushing this to World War III, and that's surprising. Look, this is a video that will require a little bit more of attention from your part. As I've explained in previous videos, you need to understand the different editorial lines. What media outlet is this? Who owns it? And what are their interests? BBC will usually represent the interests of, the British government. CNN in general will be basically what the Democratic Party wants you to think. Now, it's interesting that as of right now, this is still mostly above the fold, and yet what's happening in the actual country, what's happening in the United States, something terrible like what happened in Maine, that is barely worth mentioning apparently. No, we have to focus on this. And okay, that's a little bit suspicious. Now, when was the last time you saw not only this, that's Joe Biden, that's the president of the United States. If this had been a Republican president, it would have been the exact same picture, but with another guy. Now, it's rarely the case that you also see this. This is Ursula von der Leyen from EU, right? The president of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, basically doing the same or even worse in a, pimping herself in a very humiliating manner just for Netanyahu. How much crap do they have on all of these guys? That Epstein man, he did his job, or he did one fast. Yeah, you know how this goes, right? This is not accidental. It's not just a matter of coincidence that these things happen. You should not be that naive. Now, it's also interesting to notice that this is all happening because of, this is from CNN. This is not from Al Jazeera, right? Al Jazeera, the Islamic world media outlet, right? No, this is from CNN, and this was only up for just a little bit. It was quickly, brought down and removed from the headline there in CNN. But if you read it, it's raises a few questions. Hamas militants trained for its deadly attack in plain sight and less than a mile from the Israeli heavily fortified border, right? The footage is from last 2 years, but it's chilling present. In December 2022 video, Hamas fighters can be seen flooding a training area, shooting rockets, and capturing pretend prisoners as they surround mock Israeli buildings. They had mock buildings. They had the same logos, even the Israeli flag, and the editorial and production value of these videos. They have even a damn drone floating above and filming these explosions open air. Where was this happening? Was this in Iran? That's why the United States now has to invade Iran? No. This was happening in Israel. Actually, it was happening on the Gaza side of Israel, just 700 yards from the border. The most controlled border the world has ever seen, with cameras, with satellite imaging, not a phone call made in this place without being heard by the Israeli government. Guards constantly here shooting anyone that even gets close. But no, for 2 years, these guys were allowed to do this. Okay, and we're supposed to believe that no one noticed that. No, they upload this online, and we're supposed to think that this is the Palestine Air Force. I mean, not even a child can be that stupid, yet we are expected as full-grown adults to assume and believe that a guy with a parachute and a fan on a chair, that's an Air Force. No, it is not. And what about the response time? And what about a bunch of dudes bringing down the fence with a bulldozer and just running across? And there was no guards. No one there had a gun. There's no guards in Israel that have a gun to shoot. No, I mean, they do that pretty much any other day. Even if you get close with if you just set foot here, you get shot down. But in this specific moment, that was not the case. No one was around because, it was holidays. Come on, the military does not work on holidays, right? the response time, the fake news, constant, overwhelming in all of the media outlets, both left and right. The Guardian, mostly known as a left-wing British media outlet, still in the same line. How is it that you get everyone aligned on the same page? How is it that the only thing you find that is slightly a little bit more questionable is only from, Al Jazeera? Netanyahu is drawing the U.S. into war with Iran. Who seems to be making more sense now? I think this is actually something that I was thinking about this even before looking it up. All right, I'm not being brainwashed by Al Jazeera, guys. I don't read this all day long. I'm not Muslim. I don't have a particular interest in any of this specifically. It's not my thing. It's not my religion. It's not my part of the world. But when I looked it up, the only place in which I found what was already on my mind, like, dude, this sounds all like a bullshit. I see this. What are you doing? What are you planning? And evidently, I'm not the only one. Elon Musk warns World War III could arise from current conflicts. And yes, that's pretty much obvious, Elon. We kind of figured that out, and we're kind of worried. Why is this happening right now? Well, bunch of questions that we all have. There could be a strong reason regarding this guy being hugely unpopular and was basically facing revolt in his own country, and he had protests on the streets, and he was about to lose government when all of a sudden this happened and everyone came to his aid. Now, not only that would be just one more thing, but it's not just that. We now have the United States government attacking other neighboring countries because bad people. Is it really that desperately needed? Is it that much leverage that these guys have on pretty much all of the world leaders of the West? Is it that much money that can be made? Is it that desperate that they have to start crap all over again in the Middle East with Iran, no other than Iran right now? How far can you push this? And this is not Ukraine. Ukraine is, we all know what Ukraine is. Everyone knows what's happening in Ukraine. Russians know what they're doing in Ukraine. There's no conflict of there's no conflict of understanding what's happening there. You have a country that's invading another because of the reasons that even Vladimir Putin himself, in one of his many speeches, explained. No, that's not a real country. We're taking it because it was always ours. No, we're feeling threatened. And all of the different reasons, but we all know what they're doing, and they want to rebuild what they once had. Now, Putin, Russia, they know perfectly well that they're under no existential threat. And, as a matter of fact, so does this other guy that is calling for the United States to bomb everyone around them. No one is planning to invade Russia, and no one is invading Israel either. And the idea that these people that have been blown to pieces and are already in a prison camp, these are the existential threat. They are gaslighting us. They think that we are stupid. Maybe many of us are, apparently, so as to believe this and fall for this. But there's something else going on. And they're pushing for something because of interests that are not aligned with those of the rest of us, the rest of the people. This is COVID all over again. These are people looking to make money, people looking to stay in power, specifically in Israel. And even within Israel, they're fairly unpopular on their own. But they have friends, they have leverage, they have whatever crap it is they have against everyone else, and they're using the living shit out of it as of this moment, okay? That's why you see this kind of support from everywhere, all over the Western world, and it's just, who is it? Putin and Al Jazeera, who's calling out, hey, maybe you don't want to start World War III. Maybe that's not cool. And I guess you can push Iran up to a certain point. I guess you can corner everyone around the area and bomb the crap out of it. I mean, sure, the Palestinians are screwed. They're already living either in this prison camp or in the worst apartheid, even worse than South Africa, which brought world condemnation. Now, the same thing, but worse in the West Bank, apparently we're cool with that. Apparently that's not a thing. Bombing the crap out of these poor bastards, 6,000 people killed, 40% of the people living here, of the 2 million living here, are under the age of 15. That means they haven't lived a single day in their lives as free people. They were born in this prison under the control of the Israeli government in very brutal fashion, by the way. And now it's being bombed to pieces. And we just have to pretend that, no, that's cool. That's the way we do things, you know? If some guy does something, then we blow up entire neighborhoods and slaughter thousands of children because it's on him, because he's bad, you know? They think we're stupid, they're gaslighting us, and apparently the population is quite idiotic if this is how it goes, if people fall for this. Now, how far can you push this? How long can you keep on not only doing this, but also pushing the other countries in the region, bombing, taking over land, blowing the crap out of their infrastructure, their population, until they end up responding? How far can you push the Islamic world into, yeah, you know, that's the way we go now? They're obviously aligned with lots of these interests themselves, especially the Arabs, you know, the most powerful people in the region. It's usually these guys that have had draw the short stick or whatever the hell it is. But the idea that we all have to go for World War III because all of a sudden this is what the elite wants of us, I think that's messed up. I think we should call it out like I'm doing it right now. And if we don't do that, things just get worse. And it gets worse for all of us, right? It's not just, I don't care because I don't live here, or I don't live here, okay? Now, I'm not in, Golan Heights. Oh, I'm not in Syria. Well, this crap can get out of control very fast, very soon, so we better put a stop on it as soon as possible. Folks, prepare while you still can, because while all of this is going on, they just chip away on our rights with stuff like this. Taking away guns such as the one you see over there, because it's for our own good. They keep you, this is like a magician. They distract you with one thing, take your money, take your guns, screw you over, and maybe if they're stupid enough, they start World War III. Prepare for all of that with the channel, with my books, Street Survival Skills, Surviving the Economic Collapse, skills so as to use those things, and those things if it's ever needed. See you on the next video. Take care.